Hi, I'm Jonathan Fields, and this is Good Life Project Jam Sessions. I'm hanging out today with a good friend of mine, Clay Hebert. Clay is the founder of Spindos and Crowdfunding Hacks, and we're going to jam on some different questions that are coming in from us, from all sorts of different viewers and listeners. So, you ready?
Yeah, definitely. Excited.
Awesome. So this is a question that I get a lot in a variety of different forms. And so let me kind of read the way that this person phrased it.
Sure.
The question was, I'm setting out on my own adventure this upcoming year, and I'm worried that I'll fail. My question isn't so much how to deal with failure or coping with rejection, but more so sharing your personal introspective on, have you ever felt fear when taking those initial steps for Good Life Project? And I'll broaden that out because
Sure.
we're both founders, and you're a multi-time founder, an entrepreneur these days. So I definitely have thoughts on this. What do you think?
I think fear can be a great signal. Like if you're not feeling fear, it's probably not that interesting, or the market may not respond to it. But you know, none of us have fear when we make coffee in the morning. Therefore,
Depends who you're making it for.
Depends who you're making it for, right? Exactly. But in our regular lives, you know, tying our shoes, walking to the store, we don't feel fear because doing that is not that interesting. But with a big project like Good Life Project, or if you feel fear, I think if you can train your body not to recognize that as a reason you shouldn't do it, but rather as a reason that you should do it, because then you know it's big enough, it's interesting enough, and it's relevant enough.
I totally agree. I mean, at this point, in a weird way, I almost look to feel it.
Right.
As, like you said, as a signal, because I want to know, you know, if my life is busy. I mean, lovingly and, you know, like thrillingly and excitingly busy, but at the same time, so if I'm going to allocate time, energy away from something or someone else, then I want to make sure that I'm allocating it to something that is really going to matter to me, or at least has the potential to matter in a deep way to me, and then hopefully, if it's an entrepreneurial venture, to other people in some sort of really deeply meaningful way. And if I don't feel that, even at like the beginning, then that's a signal to me that it probably isn't going to matter to me, even if I succeed at it. So if I don't, so I think that, like, for me, the big thing is that feeling fear when you're thinking about starting something is actually a really good thing.
Right.
It's how you process that.
Yeah.
That makes a difference between whether you become paralyzed or whether it becomes something that says, okay, this is a signpost that it matters and that I need to lean into it, and thank God it's there.
Right.
Because if it's not, then it's probably not worth me pulling the energy away from other stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I grew up in Wisconsin, and we would go ice fishing. You know,
I always forget that you're a Wisconsin guy.
Yeah, exactly. I was there recently, and in Wisconsin, you go ice fishing, and the family I grew up in, we would just jig our little thing in the hole. But another way to ice fish is to lay a wooden plank across the hole, and you know, you put the bait down, and then you go back in your cabin and you sip your hot chocolate and watch. And when the flag goes up, when the fish has the thing, literally a big spring and a big metal flag goes up. And so that's kind of the metaphor I like to think about when doing a new project, is if it doesn't set off that big flag, you know, of fear, of trepidation, then it's probably not, you know, a big enough project.
Yeah, we do the same thing ice fishing in suburban New York too.
Right, fishing for ice. Exactly.
Yeah, you know, pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Some of these puddles lately.
Right, without the ice and without the fish, but the hot chocolate.
The hot chocolate.
Pretty
the
much,
same thing,
it's all
right?
there. Yeah, so I think that's the gem around fear, and I think that, you know, the real takeaway here is that if you don't feel something, if you don't feel something in your gut, in your heart, not just your head logically, but I look for a visceral sensation.
Yeah.
If you're not feeling that when you're about to devote resources, time, money, energy to starting something, that's probably a sign that it may not be the right thing to start. So, any more thoughts on this topic?
Just that training yourself to do that, to think the way that you do and think the way that I do, to run towards the fear, is really hard, because you're not only overcoming sort of what we grew up with kind of our traditional education system, but also the amygdala, the saber-toothed tiger, you know, that in the past,
it's a biological reaction that says,
right.
ah.
Before, if you ran towards the fear, your lineage didn't survive, but you know, there are no more saber-toothed tigers anymore. So
there are actually a few in New York City.
There are a few. Exactly.
There's two known. Awesome. So great conversation around fear, and hanging out today with a quick jam session for you on feeling the fear when you're about to start some sort of substantial venture, and not just doing it anyway, but doing it because you feel it. Understanding that's a huge signpost that this is something that really is bringing up stuff in you, and that's actually a good thing. And I think in another jam session, we're going to talk about how to process that once you feel it. Jonathan Fields and Clay Hebert signing off for Good Life Project.